Online family. So this is the one they've been waiting for out here, right? Everybody's been asking Adriques, man, how did you quit cigarettes cold turkey and go tobacco free for 10 years? Adriques, how did you go from living a life that consistently led you behind bars to now being an entrepreneur, author, philanthropist, sitting at the table with people like Kiki Palmer, Tony Braxton, Claudia Jordan, Stevie Baggs from the NFL Jaguars? Adriques, how did you just out of nowhere stop eating meat and develop a very healthy diet? Well, you guys, on this video, I'm about to tell you. And if I can sum all of it up in one word, that one word would be habits. You guys, let me tell you something. Let me say this first. Your habits create your habitat, you guys. And when I say that, I don't say that to sound like this cliche guy that's just speaking wind. No, you guys, I literally mean that. Okay? And I mean that to a point from experience, you guys. Everything that is going on in your life right now, all of the results that you are getting in your life right now, the quality of your relationship, the quality of your personal life, the quality of your parenting, the quality of your health, the quality of your business, all comes down to one very special, critical component. And that is your habits. Let me tell you guys something. There are so many people, there are so many of you guys, there are so many of you guys out there that are trying to do new things. There are so many of you guys that say you want to do this or want to do that, right? And of course, you guys already know me having the IVP scale of goal achieving that literally show you guys why you don't do what you say what you want to do, right? But you guys, you can take your life, man, to a level beyond imagine, you guys. This isn't theory. This isn't theory. I'm speaking straight facts from experience, you guys. So hear me and hear me very well. A lot of you guys are trying to level up your finances. A lot of you guys are sick and tired of being the weight that you are. A lot of you guys are wanting a better quality relationship, so to speak. You guys, everything comes down to your habits. Your habits exclusively create your habitat, you guys. The things that you are downloading in your salience network, the things that you are downloading in your subconscious mind, you guys, your habits are your habits create your results, you guys. Take a look at your habits. Sit back for a minute. And that goal that you guys say that you want, or that outcome that you guys also desire, take a minute and sit back and scan your habits, you guys. I don't know if you got, well, of course, that would be a crazy question. A lot of you guys have went to the grocery store, right? Do you guys know when you get to the grocery store and when you're putting all of your items on that little conveyor belt and you're putting your items on, you're putting your items on, you're putting your items on, and that conveyor belt is just slowly moving. You guys, look at the items on the conveyor belt as your habits, you guys, and observe them, you guys. Just as you're observing your groceries as they're going to the cashier, you guys, scan your habits and your habitual behaviors just as you would watching and observing your groceries, you guys. Scan, observe your habits, and ask yourself, is these habits empowering me or disempowering me, you guys? Are these habits congruent to the desired outcome that I want for myself, for my life, for my relationship? Are these habits congruent to that? Right? So I've been able to take my life to a level beyond imagine, you guys, from being now an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, author, So much going in my life right now, you guys, that I thank God for you guys. But let me tell you something. I'm no different than you guys. I'm no different than you guys. As a matter of fact, the gap between where I was to where I am now was literally on the other side of habits. Okay? Let me tell you guys this, okay? Let me give you guys a very, very critical golden nugget, okay? For those of you that have attempted or tried to do something new and you failed, for those of you that tried to pick up a new skill or you tried to develop a new habit and you failed, here's why you failed, you guys. Some of you would say, well, it was just too hard, or man, it was tough and I just gave up. Here's why. First and foremost, let me tell you, nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. In fact, I will go further to say it's actually natural for you to feel like you can't fulfill the habit. It's natural for you to feel complications in developing that new skill, you guys. Because guess what? Guess what you guys didn't know? You guys got to really, really understand this. Guess what you guys didn't know? The brain naturally resists change. You guys, this simple sentence, you guys, where you are right now, wherever you guys are watching this video at, wherever you guys are at in your life, wherever you guys are at, where you are at right now, the gap between where you are at right now versus where you desire to be in the next 5, 6, 10 months, you guys, is literally on the other side of you fully understanding that the brain naturally resists change, you guys. So that means, first, let me say this. The brain is not, us as human beings, the brain is not there to level us up, you guys. The brain is not there to change our lives. The brain only has one job, you guys. The job of the brain is to keep us as humans safe and at a state of homeostasis. Okay? And if you guys watch my videos, you know I consistently beat this in you guys' heads. You have to understand this, you guys. The brain's job is to only keep us as humans safe. The brain wants to conserve energy, you guys. So anything that makes the brain exert more energy, it's going to resist, you guys. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't persist or you can't make the brain persist. This just means that anything that is new, anything that the brain is not used to, you guys, anything that makes the brain exert more energy, you guys, it's going to resist. So this is why you guys go and work out 2 or 3 days, and that 4th day, you're just like, I'm done. I can't do it. This is why you guys have tried to stop smoking cigarettes, and by the 2nd hour, a lot of you guys don't even make it to the 2nd day. By the 2nd hour, you're just like, I gotta smoke. This is why, you guys, because you have to understand that the brain naturally resists change. Why is that, you guys? Because there's something called the amygdala, you guys. The amygdala is humans fight. The amygdala is our fight or flight response, you guys. Okay, so when the amygdala is triggered, you guys, that's the way of the brain. That when the amygdala is triggered, the body goes in fight or flight or freeze mode, meaning something. The whole body goes into this. What's going on? Something is going on, right? This is what happens when the amygdala is triggered. So when the brain, when you're trying to attempt something new, right? Automatically, you guys, the amygdala is triggered. So if the amygdala is triggered, the body goes into this nervous state, you guys, or this anxiety state, or this fight or flight or freeze state, you guys, right? And guess what? When this happens, a chemical called cortisol is released, you guys. What is cortisol? Cortisol is the main stress hormone, you guys. Cortisol is the main stress chemical. So when you're trying to develop a new habit, you guys, you have to understand this. Nothing is wrong with you. You're not weak. You're not lazy. Nothing is wrong with you, you guys. You have to have the awareness that the brain is naturally going to resist change. That does not mean that new habits cannot be formed. That does not mean that new skills cannot be developed. That does not mean that new things cannot be learned, because they can. Your job, now that you're aware of this, is to say, well, nothing is wrong with me. So knowing that I know now that the brain naturally, you guys, the brain naturally, okay? This is the way God set it up, you guys. The brain naturally resists change. Now that you know this, now that you know the brain naturally resists, your job is to what? Persist. And going back to habits, right? The moment you continue to persist, you guys, in whatever that thing is, the more and more you continue to persist, you're going to be surprised, you guys, how easy things get. This is how I stopped smoking cigarettes, you guys. I mean, I understand most people don't go cold turkey like I did, but I had an insatiable desire to quit that habit, you guys. So I was on another level. But I'm telling you, you guys, hear me and hear me very well. The more and more you persist, the easier it gets. The easier the task gets, you guys. Think about working out. When you go and work out, you guys, you don't feel better first. You feel worse first. This is what you guys got to understand about the brain. So your job, knowing that the brain naturally resists, your job, now that you're aware of this, is to persist. Because the more and more you persist, this is how habits are formed, you guys. By persisting. This is how habits are formed. This is how habits are broken. You have to understand that things are going to feel difficult. Things are going to feel hard. Things are going to feel complex. Things are going to feel complicated. Nothing wrong with you. Okay? You have to be aware of the fact that the brain naturally resists, you guys. So your job is, now that you know this, you have all of the power. All of the power. My favorite saying, you guys, awareness gives you choices and choices give you freedom. Now that you guys know this, now you guys have got to say, well, if I continue to persist, the more that constraint is going to come down, the more the complicated levels are going to come down, and developing that new habit is going to be so much easier, you guys. This is how I changed my life. This is how I changed my life, you guys. This is how I was able to speak Spanish. No te preocupes, soy una buena persona. Me encanta aprender, hablo un poquito español. Yes, I just said something in Spanish. What I said was, you guys, do not worry. I speak a little bit of Spanish. That's what I just said. But this is how I learned a new language, you guys. This is how I was able to cut cigarettes cold turkey. This is how I was able to cut out meat. This is how I was able to live an entire different type of life. This is how I was able to walk a new trajectory in life, you guys, by persisting. And at the time, I did not know what I was doing, you guys, and things started getting so easy for me. I started feeling like, oh, I can break any habit or develop any habit at the drop of a dime. I'm Superman. What we doing? I didn't understand what was going on at the time, you guys, but now I'm monomaniacal about understanding us as humans. I'm monomaniacal about the brain. I'm monomaniacal about human behavior. I'm monomaniacal about why human beings do certain things and don't. You guys, okay? The more you persist, you guys, the more you keep going, the easier it gets. And you're going to be surprised. But some of you, most of you are not willing to persist long enough to give yourself the ever greater outcome that you also desire and deserve. A lot of you guys quit right before you get to your breakthrough. That's the disempowering part, man. That's the part that you should look yourself in the mirror and say, that's a crime shame. A lot of you guys are not willing to persist. A lot of you guys aren't willing to feel worse long enough to arrive. Nothing is wrong with you, baby. This is all the way God designed it. So your job now is to understand that the brain, again, naturally resists change, you guys. This is why it feels so hard when you're trying to do something new. Your job is to persist. The moment you continue to persist day by day, you guys, this is how habits are formed. This is how I was able to change my life, you guys. This is how I was able to develop new skills that took my entrepreneur journey to a whole nother level, you guys. This is how I was able to write my first book, you guys, with ease and flow. Most people start writing a book, and by the second day they're done because they can't handle it, because their brain is sensing something new. But me understanding this, you guys, I'm Mr. Habit Formation. Trust me. I've done this too many times, you guys. Nobody can tell me anything other than what I know, you guys. And I'm telling you, I am no different than you guys. I promise I'm no different. Now I understand. And I'm telling you guys right now, your life, you guys, all of the results that you guys are getting in your life are due strictly to your habits. Nothing else. Strictly due to your habits. Your habits create your habitat, you guys. And if you think I'm lying, do your research. Don't take my word for it. Conduct your own analysis. Do your own research. But I'm sitting here telling you now from experience. The more you persist, you guys, the easier the thing gets. The more you persist, the easier the working out gets. The more you persist, the easier it is to step away from cigarettes. Or when you smell that smell, it's easy to be like, I don't want that. It gets so easy, you guys, when you understand that, oh, I'm not weak. The reason why I feel like I want to give it up, it's just the brain. The brain does this. But you mean to tell me if I continue to go 72 hours or 48 hours or 120 hours, it's going to get easier? If you really want it, you're going to do it. And when you do it, I assure you, you are going to be glad that you did. You guys, the brain naturally resists.